Have you ever had that feeling, maybe late at night, where you realize just how small you are in the universe? It's that sudden sinking sensation that you are just a blip on the radar.
Oh, absolutely. It's the starry night effect. You look up, see the vastness, and suddenly your deadline at work or that awkward thing you said at dinner just dissolves. But it's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
How so?
Well, on one hand, it's freeing because your problem seems small, but on the other hand, it can feel incredibly lonely. Like, if I'm just a breath or a passing shadow, does any of this actually matter?
That is exactly where I wanted to start today. We're looking at a collection of ancient poetry, specifically some writings attributed to David, that wrestle with this exact tension. It's almost like a psychological tug of war. On one side, you have this crushing sense of insignificance, and on the other, this terrifying realization that you are being watched intensely.
Terrifying is the right word. There's this famous section, I think it's from the 139th poem in this collection, where the writer basically says, I can't hide. He says if he goes up to heaven, God is there. If he makes his bed in the depths, literally in the grave, God is there too.
Right. It's the idea of being hemmed in. It sounds almost claustrophobic, like, you know when I sit, when I rise, you know every word on my tongue before I even speak it. If a human did that to you, you'd call the police.
You would. You'd get a restraining order. But here's the twist. The writer doesn't run away screaming. He actually leans into it. He pivots from, I can't escape you to, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. He realizes that being fully known, even the dark parts, is actually the only way to feel safe.
That's a hard pivot to make, though, because these texts aren't all sunshine and rainbows. I was reading through the section labeled 143, and the mood drops off a cliff. The writer sounds like he's in the middle of a breakdown. He says his spirit is overwhelmed, and he feels like those who have been long dead.
It's raw, isn't it? He's talking about being crushed to the ground, living in darkness. It feels very modern, honestly. It sounds like depression or burnout. But notice what he asks for in that darkness. He doesn't just ask for a change in circumstances. He asks for a morning where he can hear loving kindness. He describes his soul as a parched land, thirsting for rain.
I love that image. It's not just fix my problems, it's I am drying up inside and I need a source of life. But then, how do you reconcile that desperation with the other theme we see here, the warrior imagery? In 144, he's talking about fingers trained for battle and asking for lightning to scatter his enemies. It feels aggressive.
It is aggressive, but I think we have to read the enemies on multiple levels. Sure, historically, maybe there were literal armies, but poetically, the enemy is also the despair we just talked about. It's the chaos. He's asking the divine to part the heavens and come down. It's a plea for a power that is bigger than the human mess.
So you have this god who is a warrior, a fortress, but also a mother.
Ah, you caught that reference in 131. That is probably my favorite image in the whole set.
It stopped me in my tracks. He says, I have stilled and quieted my soul like a weaned child with his mother.
It's profound because a weaned child is different from a nursing infant. A nursing infant cries because it wants something. It wants milk. It's transactional. I cry, you feed me. But a weaned child, they sit on their mother's lap just to be there. They aren't wanting, they are just resting.
That's a massive shift in maturity. It's moving from, God, give me what I want, to, God, I'm just okay being near you. It quiets the ambition. The text actually says, I don't concern myself with great matters.
Which brings us back to where we started, our smallness. In the 145th text, the writer explodes into this universal praise. He talks about one generation telling the next about these mighty acts. He realizes that God is slow to anger and good to all. When you see that big picture, you don't need to concern yourself with great matters or trying to control everything. You can just be the child.
It's the antidote to the anxiety of being just a breath, isn't it? If you are a breath, but you are held by something eternal, the pressure is off.
Exactly, and that's why the text ends with this request to search me. It circles back. At first, being searched feels invasive, but by the end, after seeing God's faithfulness, after seeing that he lifts up those who are bowed down, the writer invites the search. He says, see if there is any wicked way in me and lead me. He wants the surgery because he trusts the surgeon.
That is a beautiful way to put it. We live in a world where we curate everything. Our profiles, our careers. We hide the wicked ways, or just the embarrassing flaws. These ancient poems seem to suggest that real peace only comes when we drop the act.
Right? It's the realization that you are fully exposed and yet fully loved. That is the only thing that can actually revive a soul, as he puts it.
So, Here is the question for everyone listening. We spend so much energy trying to be seen in a certain light: successful, put together, righteous. What would happen if you stopped performing?
If you quieted your soul, not like a crying baby demanding a fix, but like a child who knows they are safe,
Maybe that's where the noise finally stops.
and the real living begins. God bless.